Hello, hello. Another day of
Hello.
Freedom Speak.
That's
Hey,
right.
everybody. We are coming at you live. Man, if we thought last week was a busy news week, yeah, it's been a busy news weekend too.
It
Just
has.
doesn't seem to stop coming and coming and coming.
We had so much stuff to talk about this past Saturday on our radio show. We maybe got to half of the stuff that I had gathered. So we still have
Yes.
plenty left over to go next Saturday. So we'll talk a little bit about that tonight.
Oh, yes. And then some. And then some. But I'm Natalie.
I'm Rebecca.
We are your Liberty Ladies, and we unite.
Unite.
All right. So, what have we got first up on the docket?
Well, I thought this will probably be kind of quick, but this whole impeachment sham going on for the president right now. Well, the former president. I just thought I would, just so everybody is clear on this, read to you the section of the U.S. Constitution which pertains to impeachment. And this is how it reads. Article 2, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. So the important thing on there is that the only penalty you suffer from impeachment is being removed from office. Okay,
Yeah.
so why are the Democrats doing this? Because he's already out of office. He can't be removed from office.
No.
This is a ridiculous sideshow, that another one of many that they've already done, in which they're just doing a final jab at Donald Trump, just to try to smear his name and his family and whoever else they can. That's how these people are. So I just wanted to tell everybody what that is, and it's like, okay, so the question might be is, well, is an impeachment trial even constitutional? Because if you can impeach a former president, which is no longer in office, then you can have Congress basically go after any private citizen. Now,
Yeah.
there is a precedent for this in English law from England where they do this sort of thing. But
Oh,
we're
yeah, in Parliament.
Parliament. But we're not in England. We're in the United States of America. We're going by our Constitution. So the thing I don't understand is, because of this, why aren't all of our Republican elected representatives in Congress, why are they not fit to be tied? Why are they not screaming from the treetops saying this is ridiculous, this is
Well,
nonsense? There's a
some
couple
of them
more.
are. Some
Some of
of
them are.
them are, and it's actually growing. Um, so if they had tried to impeach him right after the inauguration, they might have actually been successful. Right now, though, as it stands, and the media is kind of trying to keep a lid on this, more and more Republicans are starting to say, yeah, this makes no sense. Joe Biden is now the, current resident of the White House. I still refuse to call him my president. Take that one, liberals. For 4 years, you did it, and now it's my turn. But they're like, he's already in the White House. He's signed over 40 executive orders. Why are we impeaching a non-president again? This does nothing for unity. This does nothing for this. In fact, John Robert Powers, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, who is supposed to preside in the Senate over any impeachment hearings, refused to preside over this impeachment hearing. Telling. Yeah, he knows it's a farce. He knows it's unconstitutional. And for him, anyway, It's a step too far. Okay, so they get this partisan, what's his name, Leahy, or Leahy, whatever his name is, Fleabag, and they've got him. He's going to go ahead and preside over it. He's not even a judge, and they've
Yeah.
got him, quote, presiding over
Yeah, Judge
impeachment.
Roberts wouldn't
It's
do
a
it. He refused to.
completely unconstitutional hearing. It's going to be it's just going to be a dog and pony show. That's all it is. And more Republicans in the Senate are seeing, especially when the Chief Justice refused to sit for it, they're like, okay, whoa, why are we doing this in the first place? Just, yeah. So I don't think they're going to have the, 14 or 17 Republican votes that they need. Yeah, they're going to have like 5 or 6. And we all know that Mittens will be there and whichever, other rhinos. But I don't think that they're going to have enough Republicans, not unless they were able to bring extreme pressure, bribery, or threats against enough senators to get enough of them to vote on impeachment. And I'm not going to rule that out. I don't think it's likely, but again, not going to rule it out because they pulled off the heist of the century.
You can't rule out anything at this point.
Right? And by the way, Facebook made it harder for me to share across groups. It used to be, I said, I wanted to share our video, and I would just go down the list and just check off the boxes of which groups I wanted to share it in. But no, they've made it much more complicated now to share our live streams. So I'm still doing it. I'm still sharing it, but it's going to take me a while, you all. So appreciate your patience if you're just jumping out on now. I believe we've got Isaiah on with us. Hey, Isaiah.
Hello.
He says, we done. Sometimes it feels that way. But hey, it ain't over till it's over. And even then, it ain't over.
That's true.
So it ain't over till the good Lord comes again. Period.
So I thought I'd touch on this whole concept that Joe is trying to push forward again, which Trump had shot down while he was president because he felt that it actually contributed to racism. And that is the thing called critical race theory.
Yep.
So before I even get into this, is why isn't Joe, if he wants unity, and Obama did a lot to drive a wedge in between everybody too.
Oh, he did. Yeah, it is. Obama's is still the most obstructive and what's the word? It was just the dirtiest presidential administration in our history, I believe.
And the most corrupt.
Joe's doesn't even count right now because Joe's administration is Obama's administration. Susan Collins, I believe, is the one in charge right now.
So if you really want unity, why aren't you simply saying we're all Americans?
Yep.
Why aren't we doing that? Why are we dredging this up? Why aren't we moving forward? So I got this article that apparently this is something that's at the Smithsonian, and it's entitled "In Smithsonian Race Guidelines, Rational Thinking and Hard Work Are White Values."
Oh, this
now, I've never heard anything so ridiculous. So that in itself, if you think about that in itself is an insult against people that are not white. So are you trying to say that if you're not white, you're probably lazy and you're irrational?
Yeah, there we go.
Wouldn't you assume that? I mean, that's the first thing that comes to my head, right? Only white people believe in hard work. Only white people think rationally.
That's racist in like several ways.
It is.
I wonder what the Asian community would have to say about that. FYI, I'm part Asian. My dad is one of the most hardworking guys I know.
I mean, that's how this thing starts out. It's like, oh my gosh.
So wait, so you're either saying that no one else is hardworking, which is racist,
Right?
or you're saying that everyone who is hardworking is racist. It's all race. That's all racist.
It's all racist. So this thing, it says, it's entitled Talking About Race, Aspects and Assumptions of Whiteness and White Culture in the United States. And it's got like a chart here. Okay. That's good, isn't it? It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't see how anybody couldn't read this and think that, oh my God, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Do you have the link up right now? Can you
Let's see here. I think I can get that for you. I probably, hold on a second.
Because yeah, this for those of you, if you haven't checking out Data Driven Conclusion, he has a YouTube channel. So a while back last year, an engineer spoke out against critical race theory, but not just any engineer, an engineer from our very own Sandia Laboratories. Yes. And he spoke out against it. In fact, he did more than just speak out against it. He basically did what's tantamount to pulling out a bullhorn in the middle of a crowded theater and shouting at the top of his lungs. He emailed his thesis, for lack of a better term, which really was a thesis on critical race theory and criticism of it, to 16,000 laboratory employees. That's at pretty much every employee and manager across all the labs in the United States, I do believe. So he made sure that everybody knew what he thought about it. And of course, he didn't get fired per se, but he lost his clearance, which if anyone works in Sandia or knows about what it takes to work in Sandia, losing your security clearance is tantamount to being without a job, because then you don't get to be on any projects and then you get no moolah. So yeah, he's basically fired without being fired. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, he's got some great videos out. Some people might find them a little bit dry. I like them. My dad was an engineer. I grew up around that, so I love to listen to that kind of stuff. And he's very concise in his language, and he lays things out very nicely and neatly, and goes through the thought process and the steps. So I would encourage anyone to listen to his stuff while you can. I don't know if YouTube's going to yank him soon or when they'll yank him. It seems like these days it's just a matter of time before they yank your status. Yeah. So, yeah. On the Facebook front, Rebecca, I did finally download all of my Facebook history. At least, well, actually, I need to check on that. I started creating the file, the zip file for that. I still have yet to download it, but yeah, I'm getting that together. So hopefully I'll be able to be ready for whenever Facebook kicks me off.
Okay, so let me list. I'm going to read off these things that are considered whiteness and white culture. Okay. Rugged individualism. The individual is the primary unit. Self-reliance. Independence and autonomy highly valued plus rewarded. Individuals assumed to be in control of their environment. You get what you deserve. So these are apparently aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture.
So wait, individuality. I thought that the left held the opinion that, well, you're unique and you're born this way, or whatever way you're born, who knows, if you're born and given a chance to live.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be ashamed of what you look like, or who you are, or who you like to sleep with, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, that's all hand in hand with individuality, I do believe. So what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they calling trans people racist?
Maybe.
Oh, I would love to make that point. Oh, yeah, they think you're racist now.
Individuals assume to be in control of their environment. Well, aren't we all? I mean, so
Right?
you're in control of your own environment. I don't care what color you are. I mean, depending on what you do, it determines your environment.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay. So, family. Keep in mind now, these are all things that are assumptions of whiteness and white culture. Family, the nuclear family, father, mother, 2.3 children is the ideal social unit.
There we go.
Well, you're right out then, Natalie.
Yeah.
You're already out of there. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. There it is. White culture,
That's the one.
rugged individualism, family structure, nuclear family, 2.3 children. Yeah, huh. Yeah, no thanks. I'm still aiming for 8. We got to outbreed the stupid in this world, I'm telling you. That's my quote from my husband.
This doesn't even apply to white people anymore. Maybe it
Heck
used to.
no.
My husband is the breadwinner and head of household. Well, not so much anymore.
Not really. Not always.
Not always. I mean, some, yeah, and I think it's great if it is that way. It makes for a smooth running family if one person can earn enough money for the whole family and the other person raise
Yeah.
the family and take care of the household. I mean, that in itself is a full-time job. So,
Well, I find this next one funny. Emphasis on scientific method. Good Lord, how many times do we have the left saying, oh, they're science denying flat earthers? Wait a minute. Emphasis on scientific method is listed under your aspects and assumptions of white culture, whiteness in the United States. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so now the scientific method's racist? Who knew?
wow. But I
Who
thought the
knew?
Democrats believed in science.
I mean, objective, rational, linear thinking. Yeah, that sounds absolutely racist.
Yeah.
Cause and effect relationships. Okay. Quantitative emphasis. Okay, most people aren't even going to know what quantitative emphasis means. But regardless of that fact, it's like, basically what they're saying here is any measure of logical, objective thinking, scientific method, intelligence is
Right.
racist.
Logical thinking. That means that is a quality that only white people have.
That's so racist. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, the Asian community is going to be like, what? Excuse me? I have grades too. I have 4.0 grade average from college. And unless you call me racist for that one, please, I have an aunt who speaks that way.
This is comical. Okay.
Wow, this is just beyond. Hey, Becky. Yeah, she said she's tired of being bashed for voting for Trump. Coach of Antonio Spurs said he's embarrassed to be white. Well, cool. He can step down and give someone else his multi-million-dollar job.
Oh, shoot,
right?
I'll take the job.
Heck yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, what a freaking fiasco. Freaking fiasco. Oh my gosh.
So history. okay, I guess we're based on Northern European immigrants' experience in the United States. Well, maybe. I mean, you might. I don't know. I guess. Okay, so
I could tell you that like my family comes from Philippines and Mexico, so hey, that don't apply to me. Yeah, I always piss libtards off because I don't I fit what should be on their side, and they're like, well,
yeah.
your side is racist and misogynist against you. I'm like, no, I don't actually. I've always been treated with great respect by fellow Republicans, conservatives, and independents or libertarians.
But
Oh, but they hate you. That's news to me.
yeah. But see, here's another thing you have to think about: is the United States was founded based on a melting pot of people that came here.
Right.
Okay, so yes, the United States does have a established culture based on the founding of the country, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So
we
if
all
you,
sort of have a shared history in that almost everyone's an immigrant of some
yeah,
type.
so we're going to get to this part, but yes, English is the language of the United States, and it always has been. And when you come
Yeah.
here, you're expected to speak English if you want to be successful in this country, because it is the language of our country.
I'm sorry, you go to France, they don't
You got to
expect
learn how
you
to
to
speak
speak
French.
German. Yeah, it's not like, oh, you speak German. Oh, parlez-vous François? No, 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 no. Okay, Italian, German. We'll run through the gamut and we'll try to make you comfortable in your language. No, they don't do that. Oh wait,
No.
except maybe Arabic.
Yeah. So, yeah, if I ever move to Germany or if I ever decide to move to France, I would expect that in order for me to assimilate to their society, I would have to learn how to speak the language, and
Precisely.
I shouldn't expect them to adapt to me. I got to adapt to them.
Well,
So if
I love here. Oh, go ahead.
if you come to the United States, learn how to speak freaking English because that's our language.
And I love here how they say there's heavy focus on the British Empire. Now, granted, we did have Puritans and Quakers who came from the British Empire ish. We had a lot of people from Ireland, and don't call them the British Empire, them slugging out words. And we have a ton of people from other continents and other countries, not just around the British Empire. In fact, actually, I'd have to look this up. I don't remember where I read this, but I think the majority of our immigration throughout history has not been from Britain or British Empire countries because they're considered first world countries, meaning they have things better there than in most countries anyway.
Right.
We saw a large influx of French immigrants and also from Brussels, Belgium, the surrounding countries during the French Revolution. A lot of them came to America. During World War II, we had a large influx of immigrants from Germany and Poland and Romania and Italy, all those, again, European nations, but then also, Africa and the Asias and South America as well. So I'd have to look it up, but I don't think that the British Empire makes up the majority of our immigrants. I really don't
No,
think
I don't
so.
think so either. I mean, honestly, I think in my lifetime, I have maybe run into maybe one or two people from Britain.
Hmm.
And
Well, especially where we live here, most everyone's from Mexico.
yeah, well, pretty much, yeah. Matter of fact, I think Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the native, like New Mexican, what they call New Mexican, isn't that like a mixture, like some time back, of people from Mexico and Spaniards? Isn't that
Yeah.
that's what that is, right?
Mexico, Spaniards, also some German, Aztec, some Mayan. So I did find here top countries with highest immigration to the U.S. This was an article from 2018. Guatemala is number 6.
Oh.
Interesting. Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras. Yeah, Latin America makes up a huge one.
Right.
So yeah, it's historically speaking, we do not even get most of our immigration from Britain or the British colonies, such as they used to be.
Yeah.
By the way, one of the British colonies was India, and then South Africa, and and West Indies, I think what they called it. So it's not exactly that easily cut and dried. I don't think they really did their homework for this, which is
Yeah.
odd for the Smithsonian.
Right. You
But
think the Smithsonian would? Well, they'd say this is all nonsense, but
I like here the Protestant work ethic, in keeping with that whole British thing here.
right.
How well, let's see, hard work is the key to success. Yeah,
Well,
work before play. If you didn't meet your goals, you didn't work hard enough. You okay? You know what?
sounds logical to me.
To say that those are whiteness or indicators of whiteness, or they're inherently white goals, or their sentiments harbored by white people, is racist to every single other culture in the United States
It totally
and
is.
the world. The world.
Yeah.
I know many people from Africa. They're some of the hardest working people that I know. It's like, excuse me? Yeah, y'all didn't look at this one.
No.
They did not do their homework on it. Okay, so religion. Of course, we know where they're going with this. Christianity is the norm, and there it is. If you're Christian, you're racist. You're racist if you're Christian. Oh, but guess what I found out today? Okay, yeah, so a certain percentage of white people are Christian. Yeah, let's see. Almost twice as many black people than white people in the United States are Christians.
Yeah.
Identify as Christians. Does that mean those black people are racist?
Apparently.
Anything other than Judeo-Christian tradition is foreign. Now, see, that's a misnomer. Because again, you're accusing all white people of having the same religion, which simply isn't true. And no tolerance for deviation from single God concept. I knew white Wiccans growing up, so I'm like, oh well, they weren't Christian, so they weren't racist. Is that the standard now? Interesting.
Could be. I mean, but if you're a Christian, yes, you do believe there is no deviance from the single God concept.
Right, but that's a tenet of Christianity, not whiteness.
Not whiteness, no.
Oh my God.
So, status, power, and authority. Wealth equals worth. Well, I wouldn't. There's a lot of things that give you worth.
Oh, you mean like the politicians and the hedge funders and the people who own BlackRock and Citadel and Melvin Corporation and the people that Elizabeth Warren is covering for, even though Elizabeth Warren said, I'm for the people against the big guy. We're like, Liz Warren, help us. The evil big bag Wall Street and hedge funders are attacking the little guy. And Liz Warren is like, well, okay. I guess we'll have to investigate that. Yay! No. I mean, we'll have to investigate all you little guys bullying the hedge funders. I give up. Yeah. Yeah. So for all them hedge funders where the wealth equals their worth and they can't stand losing in the market of gambling that is Wall Street, okay, that means y'all are racist.
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it.
There
Cool.
you
Wall
go.
Street is racist. Your job is who you are. Biden, 47 years trying to be president, finally stole the White House. He's white. Your job is who you are. Cool, Biden's racist.
Right. And it's obvious that it's the only thing Biden has cared about for years is to be president. He
Right.
isn't like Trump, where Trump wanted to be president because he felt like the country needed some leadership and that he could help. No, Biden just
Yeah.
wanted to run for president because he just wanted to be president.
Sweet. We got a listener, Aniko, Hungarian immigrant here. Yes, learn English. Yeah.
So,
How hard
so
can it
what do
be?
they speak in
Melania did it.
Hungary? Is it Hungarian? Is that its own language, or do they speak something else in Hungary?
I don't know.
I'm not.
Maybe Aniko, maybe you can help elucidate for us. Yeah, what
Yeah.
languages do they speak in Hungary? All I know is Hungary started building not one wall, two walls. That makes them very cool in my book. Very cool indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like it works so well, we're building two of them. Yeah, but this one here too. Respect authority. Respect the authority. What was that from? Was that South Park, Mark?
South Park, yes.
Yep, South Park. That was what's his name? Little fat kid. But yeah, the respect the authority. Oh, so
Eric Cartman.
yes, if respecting authority is a token of whiteness, that means I don't gotta respect the current resident of the White House, yo.
Yeah, I sure don't.
And if you
And
demand
I'm white.
that I respect your authority, then dude, you're racist.
Well, I'm not white and I don't respect him. So what's that tell you?
Precisely. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Heavy value on ownership of goods, space, and property.
Hedge funds. Oh, and Bill Gates, largest private landowner of farmland in America.
That's right.
Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Yeah, heavy value on ownership of goods, space, and property. Yeah, the largest landowners are by far most of them flaming leftist Marxists.
Yeah, that's true.
You
And they
are
do.
racist.
And as far as the goods and the property, they have lots of stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so much stuff. So much
Yeah.
stuff.
If there's an actual contest for the one that dies with the most toys wins, they're in the running.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Easily. Now, future orientation and time and this stuff, planning for the future. How long has Joe Biden been planning on being president?
47 years?
Yeah, only 47 years. Okay, but by all of their standards on this freaking thing, they're pretty much, they are what they say they are. They are who we knew they were. I forget what movie that was from. Delayed gratification, progressives is always best.
Yeah, I've never understood why they call themselves progressives. And
they're regressive.
they're regressive. In what way are we making progress under the things that they want to do?
Yeah. And as far as following rigid time schedules, time viewed as commodity, anyone who's successful. So I think basically what they're saying here, anyone who's successful is just racist. So that includes the politicians, although technically, well, just because you got voted in office doesn't mean that you were successful in business.
No.
Still, yeah. So aesthetics based on European culture? I don't know. I don't like bidets. Just saying. Yeah. A friend of mine's like, look, I converted to a bidet back when the toilet paper was first starting to be a
Yeah.
commodity. She's like, now I won't need to buy toilet paper. I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. You can take that weird French stuff and shut up. Steak and potatoes. Whoa.
Now, I don't get this.
That is best?
What? It's like
What?
steak. I like steak and potatoes. But
Yeah.
bland? Oh, hell no. I like
Bland.
it. I like it spicy and hot.
Okay, so they're making a huge assumption that European culture, as far as food goes anyway, is very bland.
Now, I have heard that. Can't say I've never been there.
Not necessarily. Like Hungary, and Aniko, you can correct me if I'm wrong. In Hungary, if you've ever heard of something called paprika is just dried, crushed pepper, but they have umpteen varieties of peppers to turn into paprika, anywhere from sweet to smoky to spicy to, list goes on. It's almost endless. Our version of paprika here in the United States is a pale shadow of a comparison to the real paprika from Hungary. And I got to taste some.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I tasted some from a friend of mine who visited Hungary and came back with several types, and holy camole, that's some good stuff. So
Maybe
yeah,
I should get myself some Hungarian paprika.
yes, if you can find it. As far as bland is best, okay, maybe Ireland. They really didn't have many options. Salt, that was their flavoring, salt. Women's beauty based on blonde, thin Barbie.
Well, maybe if all you watch is Fox News, you might believe that.
Maybe, or yeah, well, man's attractiveness based on economic status, power, and I don't know. Well, okay, back to the Barbie thing though. Have you seen a Victoria's Secret catalog lately? For years now, they've had ethnic-looking women. Look at Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks was the original angel, Victoria's Secret angel, lingerie modeler, and she's black. And she was the original angel. And they have all girls, all colors of the rainbow, but now they have plus size models. And okay, some of them are kind of nice and curvy, and they're a little, they're not too plus size, but then they have some extra plus sized models, and I'm like, why?
Well, it's a marketing thing because big girls like
it's not
like
just
that too.
So I have some big friends, and they've always told me that this stuff doesn't make any sense because, yeah, we're fat. We know it. Why would you think we want to look at someone else who's fat, is how one of my friends put it. I'm like, okay, you go, girl. She's like, yeah, I know I'm fat. I know I could use a few more miles on the treadmill. I don't care. I'm eating my French fries, but gosh darn it, I do not want to see myself in underwear on the cover of a magazine. Yeah, you got a good point there. Neither do I. But yeah, the Victoria's Secret started that last year, and it's horrible. It's really horrible. So at least the whole Barbie thing is not really that true anymore. But men being attractive based on economic status, power, intellect. Oh, you mean like Obama?
That's true. It's true, whether you care to admit it or not. It's true.
It is.
I heard a study a while back where they were talking about how a man's attractiveness goes up significantly if he's wealthy.
By the way, that is precisely the principle that Trump was talking to. Who was it? Billy Bush? The tape, grab him by the pussy, that thing. That is actually what they were talking about. Not that Trump likes to do that, or anyone should.
Yeah.
But that because of economic status, power,
They'll let you do anything you want.
women, yeah, there are a certain type of women
Yeah.
that are, and men too, if you swing that way, that are attracted to that.
Right.
So, yeah, he was talking about a principle. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, the language they used to define that principle was kind of crude, but when he said it was locker room talk, he wasn't lying. I've heard way worse in locker rooms from women, mind you,
Yeah.
not just men. Good Lord. Oh my gosh, holidays. Holidays. Were you listening to Eddie today on Rock Talk?
I was kind of off the grid today.
So, yeah, they say our holidays, if you're white, are based on Christian religions and based on white history and male leaders.
What about Martin Luther
Okay.
King Day?
Right. Yeah. So one thing interesting that Eddie noticed on a corporate calendar, there's some holidays missing. Corporations are being encouraged to virtue signal via their corporate calendars and getting rid of things like President's Day, Washington's birthday, Thomas Jefferson's birthday, even Martin Luther King's birthday was missing.
Translate.
Martin Luther King Day was missing?
Yeah, and of course, Columbus Day was Indigenous Peoples Day. We expect that.
Right, yeah.
Mother's Day was missing. So was Father's Day because they're cis hetero.
So what is
Holidays.
left?
Well, they replaced a lot of them with some African and Islamic holidays, such as Ramadan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, way to go for virtue signaling.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Justice based on English common law. Well, part of it anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, because a lot of the founding fathers were from England.
What did you want us to base it on?
And it's like,
Uganda
hey,
and
we got some good
Rwanda?
ideas here to build on.
Yeah, it's like, what did you want us to base it on?
Right.
What our forefathers did is they took the best ideas available at the time, went, we like this, we don't like that. Oh, we like this over here, and we like this here. Let's put them together. Let's see if they work. Yeah. So at the time, the British Empire had progressed the farthest based off Roman Greco examples. So it has nothing to do with whiteness. Nah.
No.
And by the way, there are African countries who have parliaments. There are South American and even Asian countries who have similar structures as well, and some democracies on small scales in some smaller countries. So, protect property and entitlements. Isn't that fun how they put those two together?
Yeah.
So wait, private property is an entitlement?
I guess they're trying to make people think that's what it is, but no. Private property is something you work your butt off for, and you buy it.
And it's a right. It is a right to work for and own private property. Of course, that's been,
it's not a right to
eroded.
Have property, but it is a right for you to be able to work and get it if you want it.
Yes. Intent counts?
Injustice, of course it does.
How?
Like if I was to be out in my car and somebody jumped out in the front of my car in the middle of the night while I'm driving down the road and I accidentally run over them, okay, I didn't intend to run over them, but on the other, so therefore, but if I'm coming down the road and I see somebody coming across the road and I step on the gas and run them down, obviously that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, how does that fit into racism? I guess I'm just not woke enough.
I guess not.
It's like intent counts. Like, oh yeah, so who was it? Was it Michael Brown? Or no, George Floyd. So George Floyd went into that gas station or convenience store intending to pass off, what was it, counterfeit bills, I believe.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
He intended to pass off counterfeit bills. So,
It'd be different. It'd be different if somebody had passed you a counterfeit bill and you didn't realize you even had it.
right.
And it looked really good, so you didn't even notice it. And then you go somewhere and just kind of pull it out of your wallet and give it to them.
I get it. I get it now. This whole intent counts is so that they can say, "Oh yeah, they might be drug dealers and they might have intended to sell, this stuff on the black market, blah blah blah." But they're just victims of society, man. They're just, it's not their fault. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, no one's responsible for anything unless you're a Christian. Then,
Right. Right.
to hell with you.
Now, this next one, I like this next one. Now, the first one, be number one. Hey, I'm all for that. I used to be in professional bowling. And I can tell you, if you don't finish first and you finish second, what is second place?
Not a winner.
A first loser.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's interesting because be number one. Yeah, isn't that the goal for all of these trans women who want to join girls' sports and have an equal but not really opportunity? They want to be number one.
Right.
Oh, that means they're racist.
Right, they're racist.
Yeah. Win at all costs.
Oh.
So because you sucked and were 200th in boys' hurdles, you decided you'd go ahead, change your name, pop a few estrogen pills, and then go ahead and just smack down all the girls.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're racist.
Not much of a challenge.
I don't see anything wrong with that one. Yeah. Okay. Sure. You're racist. Action-oriented, master and control. What? Master and control. Sometimes I think they just put words together here for whatever reason.
I just kind of wonder who wrote this crap.
So it's like I think you were grasping at straws because it's getting more and more ridiculous. Action oriented. Okay, their grammar has something to be desired. Must always do something about a situation. Wait, we're human, right?
Yeah.
Some of us.
Isn't that in everyone's nature to do something in a given situation?
Well, I don't know. If this is a quality of white people, I know plenty of white people that are so lazy that they don't care what's going on. They don't really feel like doing anything about it.
Hey, I resemble that.
Yeah. Yeah, some of this makes no sense. Decision making? So wait, we're supposed to come out of the womb and learn to never make decisions. Oh, we're supposed to let the state make all our decisions. I forgot. Yeah.
That's probably what it is. That's probably where they're getting with this.
And aggressiveness and extroversion. So whoa. So if you're introverted, you're not racist, or you ain't white. If you extrovert, you know how many black women I know that are extroverts? And they are aggressive as all heck and be like, "No, girlfriend, I'll get up in your face first thing."
And they get that head bobbing thing going on. I don't quite know how to do that.
That's right. I'm like, does that mean that? Does that come from whiteness? Are they racist too? I guess. I mean, it's like Diamond and Silk. Oh, those ladies, they extroverts, and they are aggressive, and I love it.
Yes, they are.
Yes. Majority rules when whites have power. Well, hey, last I checked, how many white people are in Congress right now?
Most of them.
Yep. So I guess the Democrats are racist too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting statistic. I forget the exact numbers, but Republicans actually put more people of color in office this last election than did Democrats.
I think they always have.
For the most part, I think so. Yeah, Democrats keep voting in all these old white men like, oh yeah, Biden, Joe. Oh gosh. Okay, so
Communication.
last one, finally.
The King's English rules. Okay, now the King's English
Yeah,
are.
try
What
telling
are
them
they
that in
talking about? Do you know
Southampton.
anybody that talks like that?
No. I mean, in New Mexico, we've got our own weird vernacular. Try Spanglish on for size.
Yeah.
Detroit, Chicago. I mean, King's English, man. Yeah, right. Written tradition. Oh, you mean writing things down so we don't forget them? Like, let's say history. Oh, that's right. History is racist.
That's right. We're trying to get rid of history.
Whoa. Okay. Avoid conflict. Intimacy? Okay, that's badly written. Do they mean avoid conflict in favor of intimacy, or avoid conflict and avoid intimacy?
I'm thinking it's conflict and intimacy is what I'm thinking.
Well, that's really weird because up here under competition, they said aggressiveness was a sign of whiteness. But now they're saying avoid conflict and communication.
Well, that in itself is a conflict because those two things are not like each other.
And then don't show emotion, but up here, extroversion. Oh my gosh. Did you all not have an editor proofread this? Seriously, Smithsonian? We give you our tax dollars. In fact, you got more of our tax dollars in the last CARES Act bill. What the heck are you all doing up there? Don't discuss personal life. Okay. I didn't know that was an inherently racial thing. So what that they're saying that black, browns, other people just blab out all their personal details, and it's like TMI, man, all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, and of course, the last one.
Be polite.
Nothing says racism like yes, ma'am, and yes, sir.
That's right. That's
Be
racist.
Again.
This is the crap that Joe wants people to. I don't know. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know what's trying to be accomplished here.
it's hideous.
It's
Wow.
terrible.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was exhausting and terribly unenlightening.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So we just went through it for you all so that now you don't have to.
Yeah.
And if you want it, I will put it up on our notes for the Rumble account. And of course, Rebecca also shared it down in the comments. So yeah, you can show that to your white friends who insist that, we're all racist. And you can tell them, really? Because according to this, you're racist. And so is the president, supposedly. President. And, most people in Congress.
If I had
stupidity.
to read through that myself halfway through, I would have taken cyanide.
Yeah, it says here.
Wait, is cyanide racist?
Probably.
Okay.
I think it's white. I think cyanide's white. Yeah.
So it said, the reason we're covering this is because apparently Joe Biden thinks that this critical race theory is something that everybody should study and understand.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh yes, we need to. He's gonna push that into the federal, and then the states will follow suit and into the state sectors, and yeah.
Can you see why Donald Trump got rid of this crap?
Mm-hmm. Well, he tried, and Joe is undoing it all just as fast as he can. It's even making some Democrats' heads spin. They're like, "Whoa, what's the hurry, Joe?" Oh
Yeah.
no, basically what they want is they want Joe to sign as many of these before he's no longer fit to be president and Kamala has to come into office because they know that if she comes into office, there's going to be a shite storm. So,
God.
yeah. Yeah, like Isaiah said earlier, we done.
Yeah, we're done with that.
But you know that there is an upside to this, and I've listened to a lot of Bongino. Oh, now Crowder's back, Louder with Crowder. Their mug club's finally back. Um, and even Buck Sexton, Mark Levin. There is an upside to all of this mania and manic stuff in the White House, and that is it's all exposed. It's all out there. This is who they are. This is what they want. They want to subjugate us. They want to take away our rights and our freedoms because governor knows best. And now everyone can see it. And the whole GameStop fiasco between them and the hedge funders, between retail investors and the hedge funders, is indicative of a culture shift. Culture is starting to see, hey, yeah, government, big money, etc. They're all in on this together. We don't trust you guys. In fact, we're going to take matters into our own hands. And that's what they did. And they did so legally. That's the hilarious part. Really, it's the hedge funders that have been playing on the borderline illegal side for decades. But no, you can't have a bunch of retail investors who are just regular Joes and Janes putting in $10 here, 100, 1,000 there. Yeah, can't have that because if they all decide to do it at the same time, we need to investigate. This is bullying. Bullying of rich people who supposedly you wanted to redistribute their wealth anyway. Hey, we just did it for you. Now you don't have
Right. We
to.
just, we don't need the government to do that. We can do that ourselves.
The IRS is even going to get their fair share. Come
Yeah.
on, we pay taxes.
The thing that bugs me about there probably should be some limitations on people that are government employees that have the power to influence policy and have the ability to, well, number one, the government should not be involved in any way with picking winners and losers, but they have been doing that for a long time. So you think about this, it's like, like for instance, when Obama was president, this is the most blatant thing. Okay, General Motors was probably going to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
So probably a lot of investors probably adjusted their investments in General Motors based on the assumption that General Motors was going to go down the tubes.
Yes.
So what's the federal government do? They come in, swoop in, give our tax dollars to General Motors because General Motors is too big to fail. Now, don't you bet that there were government representatives in the government that knew this was going to happen before it happened, and they said, I'm going to buy General Motors while it's like really low right now because I know that we're going to come in and we're going to save General Motors, and then their stock price is going to go up. Don't you bet that that happened?
Well, it's not even that far back. You heard about what recently happened before Joe Biden signed an initiative or an executive order, I forget which type, to, end all fossil fuel usage and go to 100% electric cars. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi basically bought an obscene amount of stock in Tesla, like millions
Yeah.
in Tesla, before that was signed. Oh, I believe that's called insider trading.
It normally would be, yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, unless you're a Democrat.
Insider trading, Nancy. You got caught at it. Oh, but no one's going to do it.
Didn't Martha Stewart go to jail for something similar to that?
/ house arrest, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, she had to wear an ankle bracelet in her multi-million-dollar estate. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't really much of jail. I think she may have spent a couple months in jail, a few months, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a fake
there are
fiasco.
laws, I believe, against federal employees using their influence to profit.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember that specifically when I used to work in federal employment. So how are these political officials getting away with this? It's blatantly against the law.
Rules for thee, not for me. That seems to always be what they go by. So one thing, of course, they're going to try to take away from us is, and we've known this was coming, our guns.
Oh, yeah.
And oddly enough, this bill was introduced into, let's see, the House and Congress back on January 4th. It didn't get a whole lot of press, although I do remember hearing about it because, I follow NRA and a few other watchdog sites that talk about things. And they were warning about it because the lady that sponsored it, she's, pretty progressive, regressive Marxist. So it's scary because, I mean, if it passes, and we hope to God it doesn't, but it would require licensing to possess firearms and ammunition.
So what about the Second Amendment that says that you have the right to keep and bear arms and that right shall not be infringed?
They don't care. We are so beyond constitutional right now. They railed at President Trump for 4 years. That's unconstitutional. That's unconstitutional. That's not what the founders intended. And now, oh, well, the Constitution is subject to interpretation just like any other document. And you know what? Times change and interpretations change. Or you can just take Jen Psaki's take on it and go, you know what? I'll circle back to you on that.
Right.
What were we talking about again? No. Yeah. No. So if you don't get a license, if this bill passes, if you don't get a license, you shall be fined not less than $75,000, but don't worry, not more than $150K.
Well, in that case, yeah, I'm not worried about it. Yeah.
And imprisoned not less than 15 years. Oh, but not more than 25. That's a freaking life sentence.
Yeah.
25 years? That's a life sentence. Yeah. So licensing requirements, psychological evaluation, which also includes interviewing your current spouse, any former spouse, and at least 2 other family members or 2 other close associates.
That kind of reminds me of a while back, I got into a discussion with somebody that used to work for me, and she had gone to the doctor. And apparently doctors, not my doctor, but a lot of doctors apparently are asking the question, giving you a questionnaire, do you feel safe at home?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? It's like, if they asked me that question, I would say, well, yeah, I'm really safe at home because I have guns.
Don't tell them you have guns. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, they're starting. It started years ago, and they've been boiling us like a frog in cold water, and they slowly turn the heat up. So some of the requirements for licensing, also an insurance fee. Insurance. Curious how they use that word.
Yeah.
Because it's a fee of $800, except the wording is extremely ambiguous. It appears there may be an annual fee requirement, but it doesn't specify if it's annual. What if someone interprets it as monthly? But it's not really insurance because you pay it directly to the Attorney General. Oh, now I got to pay a fee for owning firearms. Oh, you know what that insures? That ensures that poor people can't afford to own firearms.
Right.
Yeah, you gonna pony up $800 a year to keep your guns, people? Yeah, no. And also that's a way of putting your guns and your property under the jurisdiction of a government. Because if you have to pay someone for the privilege of owning something, now you no longer own it. It de facto erases private property.
That's true. Well,
Which,
that's already
well,
the case for like
landowners,
house
taxes.
landowners.
Yeah,
Okay, so you
taxes.
don't really like the house you
Mhm.
live in, even if it's paid off, even if the mortgage is paid off,
You
you do
still owe
not own
taxes.
it
That's right. The
because
state
it
technically does.
because if you don't pay your property taxes, they'll take it away.
Hmm. That's right. So yeah, technically the state will take all your land up if you don't pay their taxes. Oh yeah, and if you don't pay your insurance, your license can be revoked, all firearms and ammo confiscated, plus you shall be fined not less than $50,000, but not more than $100,000. And imprisoned.
Oh,
And imprisoned. Not
then
less than 10, but not more than 20 years or both. So I could be
unbelievable.
fined and jailed. Lovely. Oh, and it would be illegal to sell to anyone without a license. I don't know if that means you have to have a license and they have to have a license, or you both have to have a license and you have to have a license to sell. Let's just assume worst case scenario, licensure all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Illegal to lend your firearms to anyone without notifying the Attorney General shall be fined not less than $5,000, but not more than 10.
Boy, the attorney general is going to be a busy person, aren't they?
Yeah, apparently, because good Lord, I don't know how. Well, hey, they're just going to have to hire an entire wing, another department in the Attorney General's office and staff it, pay them our hard earned dollars to look after every single person's
Well,
firearms.
I think you
Yeah.
might be wrong there because do you know why they wouldn't need to do that? Because nobody will be able to afford to have a firearm.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Except the rich. Except the
Yeah.
rich. So
Yeah.
wait, what does that make this? Racist. Yay, racist because they think
Because
that
the
all the
white
rich
people have all
people
the money.
get all the guns because they got all the money. And yeah, who makes up the majority of poor people? Oh yeah, ethnic minorities too. Yeah, okay. Well, regardless of the fact that actually a large portion of white people make up some of the most
Yeah.
poor people. So yeah, there's that as well. Yeah, this whole thing is just, and there's many other specific restrictions. That's just a sample. That's just tip of the iceberg. Plus restrictions on caliber and ammo that are legal to own. So yeah, you want to call your senators and your representatives, ladies and gentlemen, because last I saw, it's in the House Judiciary Committee. It was referred to the House Committee on January 4th. And yeah, Representative Jackson Lee, Sheila Jackson Lee. Oh my gosh, what a name. And she's a Democrat from Texas.
From
Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas is the one that sponsored and introduced the bill. Wow.
crazy.
I'm sure Texas is very pissed off at you right now. Very pissed off.
Yeah.
And so something else I noticed while I was scrolling through congress.gov on a whim. I mean, sometimes I go on there to look for very specific things, but rarely do I ever just decide, oh, hey, it might be kind of fun to just kind of scroll through here and see what's on you various committees' dockets right now. There were actually a number of bills specifically geared towards granting illegal aliens, and they named them. They specifically named these aliens, sometimes their entire families, granting them visas or citizenship.
Really?
What? I have never seen that before.
And where did you find this?
I found that on the docket of the House Judiciary Committee.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was interesting because, you can always tell the ones that are, introduced by Republicans. Like Rand Paul has one, S99 bill to implement equal protection under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution for the right to life of each born and preborn human person. You know what? Good for you. Thank you very much for submitting that, Rand Paul. And then, of course, you also have others directly contrary to that, like making abortion legal after birth. Well, that's just murder.
Yeah.
But
Abortion after birth. That's kind of
Yeah.
like an impeachment after the president's no longer president anymore.
he's like, yeah,
I guess if you can rationalize that, you can probably rationalize abortion after
right,
birth.
right. Yeah, one
Yeah.
would think. One would think. Of course, there's a number of amendments that are going to change things, such as amend Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. I'm not sure what that's about exactly. A lot of them are pork barreled. But let me see here if I can scroll down and find it. To regulate, to amend, to reform, to amend, to provide a civil remedy, to provide for effective use of immigration detainers. Oh, that one's trying to put handcuffs on ICE. Here we go. For the relief of Alejandra Juarez. And then further down, yeah, that was HR 495. Then HR 494 for the relief of Enrique Soriano and Areli Soriano. And HR 493 for the relief of Alirio Palacios Gamez, Hilda Veronica Ramirez Mendez, and Jairo Ivan Juarez Ramirez.
So they're actually writing a bill for a specific person.
Three
specific people.
Nope. One bill for one person. The second bill was for two people.
Okay.
And the third bill was for three.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, and they were all two of them were introduced by Democrats in Texas. Joaquin Castro and Sylvia Garcia, Texas regions 20 and 29. And then Florida District 9, the Democrat Darren Soto. So I thought that was very interesting. I'm like, that's how you're spending our tax dollars, trying to get end runs around the judicial system and our current immigration laws for current immigrants.
Well,
and the wording in them was very interesting. I went ahead and suffered through the text of a couple of them because it sort of even specifies, when they say, our current legal code notwithstanding, that means, yeah, even though our legal code says this and this and this, we still want to go ahead and do this. Yeah, so it's adjustment of status, waiver of grounds for removal or denial of admission, rescission of outstanding order of removal. In other words, they can't be shipped back. And reduction of immigrant visa number. Oh, that's the crazy thing too. These people, if they're approved, if these bills are approved for them, they still count against the number of visas that we can give out to immigrants. They're jumping in freaking front of the line. They're cutting.
Yeah.
That's what these bills are doing. They're cutting. Like, if you don't believe me, I mean, I'll for any of you out there listening, like we say, don't believe us. We'll post that up there.
So the thing about Joe Biden talking about wanting to reunite families of illegal immigrants. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but if they're illegal immigrants, that means they snuck across the border, broke our laws, they have come into this country uninvited, and have bypassed all the processes that we normally have for you to come into this country legally. So they are essentially criminals.
Yes.
So,
And
do
it's
you?
even bypassing the president,
Yeah.
because normally the president would be the one who could give a pardon.
So here's the thing I'm thinking about. Okay, so you're a criminal, and because you're a criminal, you've been detained and you're locked up. So Joe wants to reunite the family with the criminal. So the question is, do you bring the family in and lock them up too with the criminal? I mean, we have a lot of criminals that are in jail that have committed crimes in this country, and we're not trying to reunite them with their family. I'm sorry, you're a criminal, and one of the penalties for being a criminal is that you get separated from your family.
This is true.
I mean, doesn't this just, isn't this simple? You would think that this is simple to understand.
Oh, and really quick, going back to HR 127, the Licensing and Registration Act, it's called the Sabika Sheik Firearm License and Registration Act. Sabika Sheik, what?
Sabika Sheik? Where did they come up with a name like that?
I don't know. It's crazy. Like,
We're living in the bizarro world right now.
Pretty much.
So I found something rather interesting. Okay, you know how Meghan McCain was just like bashing Trump before the election?
Not anymore.
Okay. Now she's speaking out against the reprogramming of Republicans.
Oh yeah, like I don't need to be reprogrammed.
So Meghan, are you stupid or what? Do you not realize that
you voted for this?
You voted for this. Stop complaining, because now you have what you voted for.
Yep. No. It's like, yeah, you all voted for this. Take your lumps, because there it is.
Yep.
And I find that rich that they're like, oh, we didn't mean this. Really? Too bad.
Yeah, you were not paying attention if you didn't realize this is what we were going to get. They've been talking about this stuff for months. We're getting exactly what they said they were going to give us. You and I, Natalie, we're not surprised at all. We knew this is exactly what they were going to do.
Yeah.
I love it. You have people that support these candidates, and before they support them, they say, oh, well, they don't mean exactly that, like that. They're not going to do that. No, they're going to do exactly that. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, unfortunately. So you all out there, I don't think anyone's listening to us right now. Yeah. Well, we might as well close. I think my baby is waking up again.
I think the whole critical race theory just put everybody to sleep.
Probably. Sorry, you all, but it was kind of entertaining.
Yeah. So maybe what we should do is just cover it very briefly on Saturday, because it is something that is a subject out there. Find a way to streamline it and cover it really fast, because it's so ridiculous.
It is.
That
it really is.
We just need
maybe
to
1 point from each group, because it's like beyond stupid.
We just need to run right through it and say, okay, we're gonna talk about this real quick, because this is something Joe is pushing through, and we just want you to know what total ridiculous nonsense it is.
Yes, and for anyone who watches the rerun on this, call your Congress people and your senators too, not just the House, about HR 127. It's the Sabika Sheik Firearm Licensing and Registration Act. Yeah, thankfully it's only just been introduced and headed to the Judiciary Committee, and the Judiciary Committee hadn't even gotten that far yet. That might be the only upside to this current Congress, honestly, is that they may not get very much done, because they're all running around trying to impeach a president that's no longer a president.
Well, in a way, that's probably a good thing that they're wasting their time doing that, because they're not having time to do anything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I did find out today when I was poking around Facebook that our Liberty Ladies page, our reach has been restricted because
Oh,
we keep posting things that are, basically, fake news or misleading, et cetera, whatever terms they call it. I'm like, oh, you mean the truth?
well, let me tell you
Yeah.
something, Facebook. The only reason I'm still on Facebook is because of this page. So as soon as you suspend this page, guess what? Goodbye, Facebook.
Goodbye.
I'm going
Yep.
to cancel my personal account. I'm never coming back. I'm going to encourage every person that follows me to also dump you.
Oh, did you get your personal info downloaded
No, I never was able
from
to.
them?
They didn't give
Try
me time.
log.
Now, see, if they were decent, they would have said, hey, we're going to suspend your account. We want to give you access to all of that stuff that you've trusted us with for all these years and let you download it so that you have your memories. You can retain your memories.
Try logging on again, even if it still says that your account is suspended. If it gives you a menu option, you might still be able to download your history. You will not be able to edit it or add anything to it or post, etc., but you
Yeah,
might still be able to download it.
I'll take a look at it right after we're done.
Yeah, because if you can do that, definitely do that.
Yeah,
Okay, well, it's been real, ladies and gentlemen. It's been really weird sometimes. But
it
hey,
has.
these are the days we live in, weird days.
We do.
And sometimes weird nights too. So
Yeah,
you all stay free because freedom is worth the fight.
that's right. We'll catch you next week and we'll probably talk about more nonsense that's going on.
Aren't you going to say your Trekkie thing?
Yes, I am. So remember, everyone, that resistance is not futile.
That's right. That's
We're
right.
right now we're fighting against a bunch of morons. So don't give up.
But they're strategically smart morons.
Yes,
Don't
they
bother
are.
about the useful idiots. The ones that are pushing the pawns around on the chessboard are smart morons.
Yes, they're smart morons.
However, don't try to take. It's like taking candy from a baby. Yeah, no, babies don't give up candy very easily.
No, I never did.
No, no.
Because my toddler found like 5 pieces of candy today, and I'm like, where is all this candy coming from? What the heck? What the heck? Yeah, don't try to take freedom away from freedom-loving Americans.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
See where that gets you. Watch the
Yeah,
GameStop thing. Yeah, that's indicative of a huge culture shift.
that's right.
So yeah, stay free, everybody, and we will see you on Saturday.
Yes, we will. Catch us on Rocket Talk on Saturday 1 to 4.
That's right, 1600. Oh, yes, you can also download the app at abq.fm, and you can see us on TV
You
on the app.
can. You
Yes.
can.
So
So,
we'll catch you Saturday, and of course, next Monday, if Facebook hasn't canceled our account by then.
yeah, if we
Fingers
have, then
crossed.
we'll keep doing this, and you'll just have to watch our replays on Rumble.
That's right. We'll record instead of live stream. But
Yeah,
we'll miss the live chat
yeah,
though, because that is fun part of
it
hanging
is.
with you all.
It
So
is.
everybody, you have a great night. Stay safe out there.
See y'all. Bye.